to the U.S.
CKWX AM,
a Rogers radio station.
1130, NewsRadio, Vancouver.
It's 9 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 1130, NewsRadio, Vancouver.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Tuesday, July 7th. I'm Sonia Aslam.
And I'm Maria Vinca. We have 15 degrees, partly cloudy here in Vancouver. Here's what's happening right now.
And what do we have now? We have nothing.
An MLA from south of the Fraser is blasting the provincial government following the latest update on twinning the Massey Tunnel.
BC nurses are now on strike. Picket lines are up at Vancouver General Hospital and at 2 other sites on Thursday.
The province will have more to say later this hour about possible legal options it has around the Tumbler Ridge mass shooting.
If you're trying to catch a ferry to the Sunshine Coast, be warned. BC Ferries has switched one of their routes to reservation only due to a ramp issue.
So much more coming up from the World Cup today as the round of 16 finishes off with a couple more spots left in the quarters. And we've got a milestone announcement from the greatest Raptor of all time. Sports at 15.
The Dow hits a record again today, and now it's down by more than 200 points. The Nasdaq drops by more than 300, and Bay Street in the red for a second day. Business at 26.
It is 9:01.
And now to the 1130 Rogers Xfinity Internet Traffic Center. Here once again is Leah Halaya.
Well, we have a couple problems out there, Sonia and Maria. We have a new problem called in. There is a vehicle northbound on the Golden Ears Bridge. It's in the left lane at the south end, and apparently there's an ambulance behind it. Might be a medical emergency, but just be aware of that. We also have that crash emission on Lougheed Highway at the Highway 11 intersection. That's affecting both directions. We have that power outage still in Ladner, affecting just under 3,600 customers. The grid is north of 45th Avenue, south of Highway 99, west of 57th Street, all the way to the Fraser. So make sure you use the always stop procedure through any uncontrolled intersections. And the cause is a tree that came down on the wire, but we'll let you know when that should be restored. If you're headed towards the Massey Tunnel northbound, you are slow north of Highway 17A. Southbound is slow from the Mylor Golf Course. Alex Fraser Bridge, I'm not seeing any delays other than on the east-west connector westbound, just approaching the S-curve. I see a peculiar little slow spot here. Do we have an issue? Star 1130, pound 1130, give me a call. If you're headed towards the Queensboro Bridge, you are backed up here before House heading into New West. Southbound slow from the north end to the south end. Westbound on Stewartson's backed up from around 5th Avenue. Stallawasam northbound looks actually pretty good. For the Port Mann out of Surrey and Langley westbound, we're looking good all the way through the Burnaby Lake stretch until you get right around East First, and then it's slowed to the Cassiar. Heading off the North Shore looks good for the Ironworkers, the Lionsgate Bridge, and the Richmond Bridges. Traffic is brought to you by Dewick Auto Group. If you're planning a summer road trip or you need to haul all your gear, get behind the wheel of a 2026 Chevrolet Silverado. From just $153 a week, Dewick Auto Group is celebrating 100 years in business. Nobody beats a Dewick deal. And now from the Penfolds Roofing and Solar Weather Center, we're going to check in with our meteorologist, Carl M.
For today, there's a good amount of sunshine across Metro Vancouver. A southeasterly wind around 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. And then we'll have a high of 22 degrees. But then the cloud starts to build for the afternoon. And then into the evening, it gets rather cloudy with a low of 15 degrees for tonight. Your high for today is 22.
And right now
Thanks, Carl. If you need to buy or renew your car insurance with BCAA, it's quick and easy. Just pick up the phone and call. Get convenience coverage with BCAA. Sorry, Maria.
No, sorry, Leah. We have 15 degrees and partly cloudy skies here in Vancouver. 11:30 news time. It's 9:04.
Well, critics are continuing to blast the province following the latest update on twinning the Massey Tunnel. The government now admits the price tag has doubled and the timeline for completion has been pushed back yet again.
11:30's Dean Rex Seidler is hearing from BC Conservative MLA Ian Payton, who calls the whole situation laughable.
His take? It's rather succinct.
I'm getting so tired of the NDP giving us the same blah, blah, blah.
The Delta South MLA says he's been watching this play out for years, and the situation just keeps getting worse with every update.
We don't even have a company that's going to build this bridge. Like, they fired the consortium from Europe about 3 weeks ago, and now they get up and tell us it's going to be built for $8.5 billion and be completed in 2031, but we don't have an environmental assessment for the project, and we don't know who the heck the contractor is going to be to even build the project.
Like many before him, Payton says if the NDP had just gone ahead with replacing the Massey with a bridge as the previous Liberal government had planned, we'd be using it, and not talking about a new crossing between Delta and Richmond. Still, I'm Dean Rex Seidler.
Thank you, Dean.
1130 News Radio. Developing story.
Picket lines are up at Vancouver General Hospital this morning as members of the BC Nurses Union take job action. It voted to go on strike back in May.
2 more locations, the Jim Pattison Outpatient Care and Surgery Center and Surrey Memorial, will be behind picket lines on Thursday. Now keep in mind, nurses are considered an essential service, so people will continue to get care. Nurses rejected a tentative agreement a couple of months ago.
The BC government says it's considering legal action related to February's mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge. Attorney General Nikki Sharma is expected to tell us more about this at a news conference coming up at 9:30.
Back in May, Public Safety Minister Nina Krieger said the police investigation into the shooting was in its final stages and a coroner's inquest had been called. The shooting left 9 people dead, including 18-year-old Jesse Van Rutzeler, whose use of ChatGPT before the shooting is now the subject of multiple lawsuits against the chatbot's creator OpenAI and the company's founder Sam Altman.
It is 9:06 now, and a downed tree has knocked out power to a large part of Ladner. BC Hydro says the grid runs from 45th Avenue to Highway 99 and 57th Street and the Fraser River. Hydro's not sure when service will be restored, but says a crew is on scene.
It is the last time that you're going to hear this before a FIFA World Cup game at BC Place. Well, today's match between Colombia and Switzerland is the last one of Vancouver's 7 games. Kickoff is at 1 p.m., but it's going to be busy much earlier downtown and around the FIFA Fan Festival at the PNE. The winner moves on to the quarterfinals.
Now, the other big question about FIFA is, did the U.S. anger the soccer gods? Our Jamie Pulfer says the Americans are out of the World Cup.
Wiped out by Belgium 4-1, the Belgian team trolling Donald Trump, doing the president's famous dance as they celebrated on the pitch. Payback, according to ABC's Lionel Moise.
Many around the world may see it as retribution after that decision by FIFA to allow U.S. striker Folarin Balogun to play, suspending the red card penalty.
All 3 co-host teams, Canada, the U.S., Mexico, eliminated. I'm Jamie Pulfer.
A broken ramp has forced BC Ferries to switch to a reservation-only model between Horseshoe Bay and Langdale. Our David Natalini reports that's not sitting well with the local mayor.
The incident has prompted Gibson's mayor, Silas White, to renew a call for the province to take action.
I am calling upon the provincial government again, step in. This includes the BC Ferry Authority, for whom the provincial government largely appoints, to step in for the public interest, the community interest.
The upper loading ramp is now facing up to 10 days of repairs, according to an email from BC Ferries. They go on to say this is a complex piece of terminal infrastructure, and they're working as quickly as they can to repair it. White says residents are extremely confused about what's happening at BC Ferries, adding their communication also needs to change. I'm David Natalini.
A pedestrian is recovering after being hit by a transit bus yesterday. It happened along Southwest Marine Drive near Canby Street around 5 p.m. Photos from the scene show damage to the bus's windshield.
1130 News Radio. Wildfire update.
It could still be a little smoky in the Fraser Valley this morning. This is all because of the out-of-control wildfire north of Boston Bar in the canyon. Now, the Brunswick Creek wildfire is still about 12 square kilometers in size, but the wind has been blowing south into the valley. Now, Environment and Climate Change Canada says a yellow advisory means those who are older, pregnant, or have certain health concerns should stay inside.
Meantime, a wildfire on the outskirts of Kamloops is not expected to grow today. Crews with the Kamloops Fire Department and BC Wildfire Service hit it hard yesterday, soon after it was spotted. It's about 20 hectares in size.
We have your 1130 News Radio Ferry Report up next.
Wealthsimple is giving away $1 million every month. Every dollar you save is an entry to win. So whatever ad plays after this, just don't buy what they're selling. Earn entries instead. Sign up at wealthsimple.com/million. Hate cooking? Get healthy meals delivered starting at $79 a month. You didn't fall for that, right? Good. You could save that $79 and get 79 entries instead. Ready to be our next monthly millionaire? Visit wealthsimple.com/million. Terms and conditions apply.
And now the 1130 News Radio Ferry Report. Here is once again Leah Halayev.
Well, Sonia, Tsawwassen to Swartz Bay, the next sailing here is at 10 a.m. and it's sitting at 66% full. Tsawwassen to Dew Point, the next sailing here is at 11:30 and it's sitting at 65% full. And Horseshoe Bay to Departure Bay, it looks like there's some space on the 4 p.m. this afternoon, but you can always find your latest ferry update anytime at vancouver.citynews.ca/traffic.
In a minute, we have your traffic and weather up next. It's 9:10.
Hi, I'm Barbara from Sofa So Good. Paul and I have been retailing Canadian-made sofas since 1976. For those of you who need a calculator, that's 49 years. We are Canadian-made, we are tariff-free, we are locally owned and operated, and we are so proud to be Canadian. Sofa So Good. Come and see why we are Western Canada's highest-rated custom sofa store on Alberta Street in Vancouver or online at sofasogood.ca.
11:30 News Radio Mornings.
Powered by KSW Lawyers. From contracts to courtrooms, KSW Lawyers has you covered.
Visit kswlawyers.ca.
When you picture your child's future, what do you see? A scientist, a musician, an entrepreneur, an athlete? At South Point Academy, we believe children don't have to fit into one box. Our International Baccalaureate program from kindergarten to grade 12 helps students become curious thinkers, creative problem solvers, and compassionate global citizens. Because every child contains multitudes, and the right environment helps them discover where they shine. Ready to explore? Book a campus visit at southpoint.ca.
It is 9:11 and now to the 1130 Rogers Xfinity Internet Traffic Center. Here is Leah Halayev.
Well, I'm looking for an update, Sonia, on that vehicle that was on the Golden Ears Bridge northbound, and it was at the south end in the left lane. Apparently, there was an ambulance behind it, so it might be a medical emergency. Is he still there? Star 1130, pound 1130, give me a call. And that crash also out in Mission. I'm wondering, well, it looks like that may have cleared. It was Lougheed Highway at Highway 11, right in the intersection. I'm not seeing big backups there, so I'm guessing that's out of the way as well. But if you want to call me and let me know, I'd appreciate that at star 1130 or pound 1130. We do have that power outage in Ladner affecting just under 3,600 customers. The grid is north of 45th Avenue, south of Highway 99, west of 57th, all the way to the Fraser. So please use always stop procedure through any uncontrolled intersections. And that was all due to a tree that crossed over the wires. But we still don't know yet on when the power will be restored, but we'll let you know as soon as we know. If you're headed towards the Massey Tunnel northbound, you are going to slow down just north of Highway 17A. Southbound slow from the Mylor Golf Course. The Alex Fraser Bridge looks good in both directions, but there's a little bit of a slowdown on that east-west connector westbound approaching the S-curve. Queensboro Bridge is slow before House heading into New West. Westbound on Stewartson, we're backed up before 5th Avenue. The Stallawasam Bridge northbound, just a tiny bit of volume approaching 128th. That's it. Portman, you look great out of Surrey and Langley. Westbound for the bridge deck all the way through the Burnaby Lake stretch until you get to right around East First, and then it is a little slow from that point. Heading off the North Shore looks good, though, for the Ironworkers and the Lionsgate Bridge. And the Richmond Bridge is the Oak House. That slowdown northbound between 91 and the south end, but then it opens up. Traffic is brought to you by Northview Golf and Country Club. Duffy's Sports Grill is open to all. Whether you're wrapping up a round of golf or just enjoying the views with friends, book your table now at northviewgolf.com. And now from the Penfolds Roofing and Solar Weather Center, we're going to check in with our meteorologist, Carl M.
This is going to be a pretty consistent stretch for us across Metro Vancouver. So for today, we start with sunshine and a southeasterly wind around 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. Temperatures getting up to 22, and then the cloud starts to thicken up for the afternoon and into the evening. Tonight's low is down to 15. Then for tomorrow, it's sun and cloud. Temperatures up to 21 for Wednesday, and then down to 13 degrees on Wednesday night. Your high for today is 22.
Thanks, Carl. Speedy Glass is here to help you cross the broken windshield off your to-do list. It's easy. Simply book your appointment today at speedyglass.ca.
And this just into 11:30 News Radio. Prime Minister Mark Carney's principal secretary, Tom Pitfield, has been named to the Senate. The longtime Liberal strategist is one of 4 new appointments to the upper chamber announced today. Others include Conservative MP Richard Martel, New Brunswick cancer researcher Dr. Rodney Wallet, and Manitoba chartered professional accountant Geeta Tucker.
Sports and your top headlines are straight ahead. It's 9:14.
Stand up for your right to be lazy by sitting down and reclining back. You work full-time and parent full-time. It's your right to relax. Take back lazy right now at Lazy Boy during the last call clearance event. Save up to 50% off store-wide, plus take an additional 15% off the lowest ticketed price. Hurry, offer valid only July 9th to 12th. All with their complimentary in-home design service. Only at Lazy Boy in North Van, Coquitlam, Richmond, and Langley. Long live the lazy.
So I just talk into the mic?
Anytime you're ready.
Hey, Vancouver. My name is Sarush, and I'm the owner of Call Mo. Yeah, it's a weird name. and I could have named it anything, but I wouldn't have gotten this far without my dad, so I named it after him. Actually, I guess the name's because of my mom. She'd tell people, if you don't know, call Mo, or why is your father never home? Dad was always helping someone. So, if you don't know, call mo.ca.
With Rogers, you get to enjoy Canada's best 5G Plus network and the most coverage in Canada with Rogers Satellite. Learn more at rogers.com/5G. Rogers, we got you.
Vancouver's trusted news. 1130 News Radio.
Currently sunny and 17 degrees in Vancouver. Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Sonia Aslam.
And I'm Maria Vinca. Here's what's happening right now.
As the price tag of the Massey Tunnel replacement project skyrockets, critics are slamming the province. One MLA south of the Fraser calls the whole thing laughable. The cost for now is set at $8.5 billion.
We're less than 15 minutes away from an update from the province regarding the Tumbler Ridge mass shooting. The government is set to explain the legal options it may be exploring.
And coming up after sports, preparing for a possible building collapse in New York City. That sound means it's time for sports from Sportsnet 650, the home of the Canucks. Here is Rajesh Dave.
At the World Cup, so much controversy surrounding the U.S. team. They were humbled by Belgium in Seattle for a round of 16 exit, 2 first-half goals, and then an early second-half gaffe by American keeper Matt Freese enabled Belgium to put up an emphatic 4-1 victory. The three co-hosts now all out in the round of 16 by a combined 10-1 score. So it'll be Belgium versus Spain in the quarters. That's because the Spaniards knocked off Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal 1-0, the international swan song for CR7. The round of 16 finishes up today. Right now, it's Argentina and Egypt still scoreless early in the first half. They just got started. Then later, it's going to be a game here in Vancouver. The swan song for Canada at the World Cup as the city serves as the backdrop for Colombia and Switzerland. They'll kick off at 1 this afternoon. The Raptors with a milestone announcement this morning. Kyle Lowry will officially be retiring as a Raptor on the 7th, just like his number 7, which will probably never be worn again in Toronto.
I'm retiring as a Toronto Raptor. 20 years and 1 day. 7 forever. I love y'all.
Well, the good news if you're the Blue Jays, you finally scored. Kazuma Okamoto with the home run against the Giants. Their first since Friday. Still, they got hammered 10-1 by San Fran. They'll try again today while the Mariners take on Miami. It's also a big day at Wimbledon. Men's third seed Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime facing 7-time champ Novak Djokovic. They've only faced off against each other twice, both with a win each. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour, anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Do you like treating yourself? Who doesn't? Right now, Blue Rewards members are shopping brands they love and earning up to 8,000 Blue points during Shop the Block. And with 8,000 Blue points, you're that much closer to really treating yourself to rewards like hot tech, kitchen essentials, a new skincare routine, your next getaway, and so much more. Visit bluerewards.ca to join now during Shop the Block. But hurry, it only lasts until July 8th. Offer terms and conditions apply.
At BCAA, we make buying or renewing your car insurance as easy as possible. Do you like talking to people on the phone? Call us. Like talking to people not on the phone? Visit us in person. Hello. Do you really dislike talking to people? Visit us online. Do you wish all the smart technology in your car could just use as little AI power to renew car insurance itself? We're working on that. For now, give us a call, or you can visit us in person or online. BCAA, quick and easy car insurance your way.
It is 9:18 now. Good morning. And new this morning, a few blocks on New York's east side has been evacuated over concerns that a high-rise building being renovated could collapse. Reporter Aaron Katursky says it all began when workers noticed bricks falling and saw the buckling of beams on the building's 21st and 22nd floors.
Everybody was ordered out. There is no one left inside. The FDNY and the buildings department are now trying to figure out what to do. They'll obviously have to look for some structural engineers to see when and whether it's safe to go back in. And as a precaution, with those steel beams buckled and concerns perhaps of an internal collapse, the FDNY has evacuated a number of buildings around here on Manhattan's east side.
Now, the building used to be the headquarters of Pfizer and is now being turned into apartments. New research from KPMG Canada shows 42% of Canadian manufacturers say they have or are considering moving production into the U.S. Anamika Gadia with the firm says the issues go beyond just the current trade situation.
Some of the key factors that that companies have cited
are more certainty around interprovincial trade barriers. They need more tariff certainty. They want to see lower corporate taxes. They want better access to capital and cheaper energy.
The survey also found that 57% of manufacturing firms have paused, reduced, or canceled capital investment projects. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together on the ones. It is 9:20.
Discover the charm of Shannon Oaks, Vancouver, where independent living is redefined with elegance and warmth. Our elegantly crafted suites combine comfort and functionality, ensuring each stay feels exceptional. Here you'll find inviting amenities and a vibrant community that welcomes family and friends with open arms. Imagine a place where multi-generational visits are easy and every day feels like home. Whether you're enjoying the stylish common areas or sharing a meal with loved ones, Shannon Oaks is where you'll create lasting memories. At Shannon Oaks, graceful living is more than just a promise, it's a way of life. We believe in making every moment meaningful with community that feels like an extension of your own family. Shannon Oaks, Vancouver. Graceful living with family in mind. For more information, visit shannonoaks.com or call 604-324-6257.
It is 9:21 and now to the 1130 Rogers Xfinity Internet Traffic Center. Here is once again Leah Halayev.
Well, it looks like we cleared that vehicle that was on the Golden Ears Bridge northbound, Sonia. It was at the south end in the left lane. It's out of the way. Also, we cleared that crash that was on Lougheed Highway at Highway 11 in Mission. That's not there either, but we still have that power outage affecting just under 3,600 customers. The grid is north of 45th Avenue, south of Highway 99, west of 57th Street to Fraser. The Fraser, please use the always stop procedure, though, in any uncontrolled intersections. And it's all due to some trees that have come down on some wires, but we'll let you know when that should be fixed. If you're headed towards the Massey Tunnel right now, northbound, you are slow from Highway 17A. Southbound is now backed up to to Blundell, actually. Alex Fraser Bridge looks good northbound. There's some pockets of volume on the east-west connector westbound, but it's only slow pockets here and there. Queensboro Bridge is slow from before House, heading into New West. Westbound on Stewartson slow from around 5th Avenue. If you're headed towards the Stalawasan Bridge northbound, you look great out of Surrey. The Portman out of Surrey and Langley westbound down Highway 1. No slowdowns all the way until you get closer to Boundary, and then you're going to be a little slow from that point to the Cassiar. Heading off the North Shore for the Ironworkers and Lionsgate Bridge look fine, as do the Richmond bridges. Traffic is brought to you by Combined Comfort Systems. Save big when you install a new Mitsubishi Hyperheat cold climate heat pump. No furnace needed. Visit VancouverHeatPumps.ca to find out how. And now from the Penfolds Roofing and Solar Weather Center, we're going to check in with our meteorologist, Carl Lam.
For today, it is going to be a nice start, but it just doesn't finish that way. So we'll have sunshine and a breezy southeasterly wind around 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. 22 is the high and 15 is the low for tonight. Then for tomorrow, sun and cloud and 21. And then it gets a little cloudier for Thursday, also up to 21. Then for Friday, back into the mix of sun and cloud and still holding steady around 21 degrees. And then for Saturday, sun and cloud and 20. Now time for your Northview Golf and Country Club golfers weather report. It's going to be a nice day out there, at least to start. If you have an early tee time, looks beautiful, except for that breeze out of the southeast around 20 to 30 kilometers per hour that may impact your game on the links today, but temperatures will be quite comfortable, maxing out into the low 20s. Northview Golf and Country Club, home to 2 championship courses designed by the king himself, Arnold Palmer. Book your tee time now at northviewgolf.com, created by a legend, open to all.
Thanks, Carl. School board trustees make decisions about funding and how much support every kid gets. October 17th, elect trustees who stand up for kids. Visit votefordbcschools.ca. A message from BC teachers.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Carl. It is now 9:24 and new this morning. A woman suspected of carrying out a parcel bombing in Monaco targeting a Ukrainian businessman and his family has been found dead. The body of the 39-year-old was found with gunshot wounds to the head, according to Ukraine's security service. 2 people, including a member of the country's Ministry of Defense, have both been arrested. Investigators believe the woman had been held captive in a basement in a home in the Kyiv region prior to her death. The second day of a preliminary hearing for the man accused of killing conservative influencer Charlie Kirk is set to begin this morning in a courtroom in Provo, Utah. Prosecutors are trying to convince the judge there is enough evidence to take the case to trial.
Tyler Robinson appeared to focus his attention on other things in the courtroom instead of watching videos of Charlie Kirk being shot. Robinson's family sitting in the courtroom 2 rows behind Kirk's widow, Erica, and Kirk's parents, along with other family members. The Kirk family left the courtroom when the videos of the murder were shown to the judge. Day 1 of the preliminary hearing was made up mostly of law enforcement talking about responding to and investigating Kirk's killing. More testimony from police is expected today. Alex Stone, ABC News, Provo, Utah.
Google is defending a YouTube video that falsely claims a survivor from a Hanukkah massacre in Sydney was a crisis actor bloodied up with makeup. A company official has testified at a government inquiry into the spread of anti-Semitism in the country that the decision to allow the video to stay online has been reviewed by, quote, quite senior levels. Now, the video shows 4 men suggesting one of the victim's injuries appeared to be very crisis actorish while mentioning makeup and describing him as an intelligence asset. The attack saw 15 people killed and dozens more hurt when 2 men opened fire at Bondi Beach last December. An AI-created actor is going to star in her first movie. Tilly Norwood is set to debut in a comedy meant to show what artificial intelligence can do. Reporter Hannah Bata has the latest.
Norwood was first announced by the production company Particle 6 last year. The actors union, SAG-AFTRA, said they do not consider her to be an actress. But Particle 6 pressed forward, releasing short comedy sketches and a music video.
I am still human, make no mistake.
Now the studio that made her is producing a film starring Tilly. Titled Misaligned, a coming-of-age story about Tilly trying to become more human.
There's no word yet when Misaligned will be released. Your business is next.
Winning cash has never been so easy.
With the 1130 News Radio Escalating Weather Guarantee. Listen at 7-Eleven every day to see if we miss the guaranteed high by 2 degrees. If we get it right,
the jackpot grows.
If we get it wrong, you win cash.
The 1130 News Radio Escalating Weather Guarantee at vancouver.citynews.ca/contest.
Brought to you by Hero Home Care, a local company providing companionship to 24-hour nursing care and everything in between.
Time for the Market Minute. Now here is Chris McCusker.
Good morning. Exports hit a record high in Canada, and that gave a boost to our merchandise trade balance in May. So it worked out to $4.2 billion, up from $3.4 billion in April. It is a 3rd consecutive surplus and the largest since May of 2022. Benjamin Reitzes is Canadian rates and macro strategist at BMO Capital Markets.
Aluminum has been an important export item as well. It spiked higher in May, still relative to oil pretty small, but there was a big increase, and part of that has to do with the disruptions in aluminum production in the Middle East. Canada can be an alternative supplier there, and that's what we saw happen in May.
The Canadian dollar right now is higher by 170.46 cents U.S. The June jobs report will be released on Friday. Now, the TSX lower for a second day, though it's only down 10 points now, 35,202. Gold futures down $15 to $4,152. And then oil is higher today on reports about multiple attacks in the Strait of Hormuz. Right now up by $1.83 to $70.38 a barrel. I am watching shares in Aritzia right now down 0.6% on Bay Street ahead of earnings on Thursday. That stock higher by 27% this year. On Wall Street, a fresh record on the Dow, but it couldn't hang on. It's now down 175 points. The S&P down 36 and the NASDAQ down 193. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
Don't let your favorite summer getaway take you away from your favorite summer pastime.
It is something to watch.
Stream the Blue Jays with Sportsnet Plus from your favorite devices, anytime, anywhere. Subscribe at sportsnetplus.ca.
Mondays on Bravo. Watch all new episodes of Below Deck Mediterranean.
We set the bar really high.
This is charter yachting.
In this industry, you have to have thick skin.
Below Deck Mediterranean. All new Mondays at 8 on Bravo or stream it on City TV Plus.
Canadians baseball is in full swing at the Nap. The season may be half over, but the summer fun is heating up. 75-cent hot dogs on Tuesdays, tons of promotions and giveaways, post-game fireworks, and so much more. Get tickets before it's too late at CanadiansBaseball.com.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Dean Rex Seidler produces the 11:30 News Radio Morning Show. It is 9:30.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 11:30 News Radio, Vancouver.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Tuesday, July 7th. I'm Maria Binka.
Alongside Sonia Aslam, and here's what's happening right now.
The province is about to unveil its legal options following the mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge.
When will it end? Heck, when will it start? That's what a BC Conservative MLA is asking after the latest update on the twinning of the Massey Tunnel.
A mayor on the Sunshine Coast is calling on the province yet again to take action as BC Ferries deals with more mechanical issues.
And a pair of wildfires which sparked over the weekend are keeping crews busy in BC.
Lots more to come from the World Cup. The Mariners are down in Miami. Wimbledon continues, and Kyle Lowry is retiring a Raptor. Sports at 45.
It's now a mixed picture on markets with Bay Street clinging to a gain. The Dow hits a record and then moves lower, and the NASDAQ drops by more than 200 points. Business at 56.
It's 9:31.
Now to the 11:30 News Radio Rogers Xfinity Internet Traffic Center with Leah Halayev.
Well, we're taking multiple calls on some type of fire that's happening in Coquitlam right now, Maria. We're trying to pin down exactly where it is. Nobody knows exactly where it is, but the area, the general area, is in between Highway 1 and Brunette and Lougheed, somewhere around there. If you do know what's on fire, please give us a call. Let us know what's being blocked, what the situation is at star 1130, pound 1130. We could really use that update. Definitely going to be a visual distraction. I'm seeing traffic really slowing down here, trying to take the exit of Brunette. So please give us a call if you do know what is going on with this structure fire out in that direction. Other than that, I don't have any other issues. We do have that power outage in Ladner affecting just under 3,600 customers. The grid is north of 45th Avenue, south of Highway 99, west of 57th, all the way to the Fraser. So please use always stop procedure through any uncontrolled intersections. That's because a tree came down across the wire, but we'll let you know when that should be restored. If you're headed towards the Massey Tunnel right now, northbound, you're jammed from around the Delta Works Yard. It does open up, though, on the Richmond side. Southbound is slow from around Blundell. The Alex Fraser looks pretty good. Queensboro Bridge, you're backing up before House, heading into New West. Westbound on Stewardson slow from around 6th Avenue. If you're headed towards the Stella-Wasson Bridge, we look pretty good here. But the Port Mann at Surrey and Langley westbound, you look fine. But you will probably see that smoke in the air right around Brunette. But you will slow down again right around East First towards the Cassiar. Heading off the North Shore looks good for the Ironworkers, though, and the Lionsgate Bridge. And checking out the Richmond Bridge, is just minimal volume there. Traffic is brought to you by Combined Comfort System. Save big when you install a new Mitsubishi Hyperheat cold climate heat pump. No furnace needed. Visit VancouverHeatPumps.ca to find out how. And now from the Penfolds Roofing.
We have some breaking news here on 1130 News Radio. Now, the province is laying out its possible legal options in connection to the mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge. Here is Attorney General Nikki Sharma.
Thank you. Our government remains focused on supporting those affected. Accountability is also part of that process. When there are serious concerns that opportunities to prevent harm were missed, we as a government have the responsibility to act. We owe that to the victims, their families, and everyone whose life was changed by this tragedy. We owe it to ensure that this never happens again. The province is preparing legal action to hold artificial intelligence company OpenAI and its decision makers accountable for their failure to notify law enforcement of the violent prompts made on its ChatGPT platform by their perpetrator prior to the tragedy in Tumbler Ridge. We've retained legal counsel in both BC and California to explore all avenues to hold OpenAI and its decision makers accountable. OpenAI is headquartered in California, and we are prepared to take this fight to them. This work is still in its early stages, but I can share now that we'll be working alongside legal counsel in BC and British and California to ensure accountability and secure support for community rebuilding efforts, including the construction of a new Tumbler Ridge school facility. Our focus is on following the evidence, pursuing accountability, and standing up for the people affected by this tragedy. That work will take time, but we are committed to exploring every available option at our disposal. No company or corporate leader, no matter how large, should escape accountability when public safety is at stake. I look forward to sharing an update on this work in due course. British Columbia has never shied away from taking on powerful corporations when their actions cause harm to people and communities. Our government has a long track record of holding powerful corporations accountable when their products or practices cause harm to people and communities, and we've been successful. We won against Big Tobacco, securing a landmark settlement of $3.6 billion for British Columbia and billions for our healthcare system across the country. And just last week, the BC Court of Appeal dismissed the final barriers holding up our class action lawsuits against opioid manufacturers and distributors and their consultants. This is no different. We will use the courts to pursue accountability and ensure that British Columbians are not left bearing the costs of corporate wrongdoings. The events of February 10th will forever remain a dark chapter in our province's history. Nothing can undo what happened, but the steps I'm outlining today are about seeking accountability and justice. Justice for the families who lost loved ones, for those who were injured, and for a community that is navigating unimaginable pain and preventable loss. While no legal process can undo the harm that was done, pursuing accountability is an important part of supporting recovery and helping the community move forward. The people of Tumbler Ridge are not facing this tragedy alone. British Columbians stand with them, and our government will continue to support the community as they heal. Thank you.
As you just heard, that was BC Attorney General Nikki Sharma providing an update on the province's plans for legal options in connection to the mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge. Now, Nikki Sharma said that the province is going to be holding artificial intelligence company OpenAI accountable for failure to notify law enforcement early enough for the suspect's chats with ChatGPT prior to the shooting. Sonia?
So, Maria, one of the key words that she repeated a number of times, and our audience just heard it, is the word accountability. Obviously, you can't change what happened in February when multiple people lost their life and there was that mass shooting, but the province says it's going to explore all options when it comes to holding OpenAI accountable. Now, we should be clear that the province has right now confirmed that legal counsel has already been retained, both in BC and in California. Now, California, if you're wondering, is because that's where OpenAI is located. Again, it's saying that all options are being explored. Now, we should add the context, of course, for our audience, is that this could take a very long time. This is a huge, very high-profile case. There is a lot that needs to be sifted through in terms of evidence and what happened and who knew what when and who didn't notify who when and everything that comes along with the shooting. But again, the main point right now from the province is that it's wanting to hold OpenAI accountable for the Tumbler Ridge mass shooting. Our audience will remember, of course, that happened February 10th. Yeah. Several people lost their lives, including the shooter, who it was then revealed, as we were saying earlier on the air, there was a connection there to OpenAI and ChatGPT.
Yes, and we will have more on this developing story throughout the morning as well, so stay tuned for that. We do have your 11:30 News Radio Border Report up next.
It's all coming to an end, so hurry. VGH Plus Hometown Heroes lottery tickets are 4 for $85.
And you could win $2.3 million cash.
Or a grand prize home in Vancouver, the Lower Mainland, Vancouver Island, or the Okanagan.
Win with BC's bravest. Do it for VGH Plus you.
Absolute final deadline this Friday.
Tickets at heroeslottery.com. That's heroeslottery.com.
19 plus to play. Know your limit. Play within it.
Border Report, brought to you by Pacific Blue Cross Travel Insurance. Buy a travel plan and your kids are covered free at pacificbluecross.ca.
And
now the 11:30 News Radio Pacific Blue Cross Border Report. Here is Leah Halayev.
Not a bad time to head down to the States right now, Sonia. Peace Arch, Pack Highway, Aldergrove and Sumas are only 5 minutes heading into the States. And even back into Canada, we're looking at only 5 minutes as well for all the crossings. But you can always find your latest border wait time anytime at vancouver.citynews.ca/border.
Thanks so much, Leah. We have your traffic and weather up next. It's 9:40.
This summer, discover more than a festival. Discover a getaway in the Harrison River Valley. From July 10th to 19th, the Harrison Festival of the Arts brings you lakeside concerts, workshops, artisan markets, and unforgettable performances. But the festival is just the beginning. Plan your getaway around it. Soak in hot springs, dine at farm fresh cafes, explore endless things to do, stay a little longer. Harrison Festival of the Arts starts July 10th. Your whole trip starts here. Plan it now at tourismharrison.com.
11:30 News Radio Mornings.
Powered by KSW Lawyers. From contracts to courtrooms, KSW Lawyers has you covered.
Visit kswlawyers.ca.
This pothole wasn't born overnight. It began as a small crack, ignored through 2 winters, fed by rainwater and poor drainage.
Are you talking to a pothole?
I listen to asphalt.
Before small asphalt problems become major repairs, call Invictus Northwest Group. Infrared asphalt repair, crack sealing, seal coating, and pavement asset protection.
The pavement is speaking. You should listen.
Visit InvictusNorthwestGroup.com.
9:41, back to the 11:30 News Radio Rogers Xfinity Internet Traffic Center with Leah Halayev.
All right, so we found out, Maria, that we are dealing with some type of structure fire. This is in Coquitlam around Roderick Avenue, apparently, and that's why you're seeing all the smoke in the area right around Highway 1 in Brunette, because it's kind of around that area just north there of Lougheed Highway. So what I'm seeing right now on Brunette is quite a backup here, and it is heading southbound, trying to get onto the highway, and then traffic trying to head off of the highway, because I'm guessing it's a visual distraction. So just be aware of that. If you're headed towards the Massey Tunnel right now, northbound, you are backed up right around the Delta Works Yard. Southbound looks fine. Alex Fraser Bridge, no delays in either direction. The Queensboro slow from around House, heading into New West. Westbound on Stewartson, we are slow here from around 5th Avenue. The Stalo-Awesome looks good, though, in both directions. The Portman out of Surrey and Langley westbound, we look fine. You are going to slow down right around Boundary, though, towards that Cassiar. Heading off the North Shore looks good for the Ironworkers and the Lionsgate Bridge. The Richmond Bridge is a little slow for the Oak Street Bridge northbound from about the south end to the north end, but the other two are looking pretty good. We still have that power outage in Ladner, though, affecting just under 3,600 customers. The grid is north of 45th Avenue, south of Highway 99, west of 57th to the Fraser, so please use the always stop procedure in any uncontrolled intersections, and it's all due to a tree that has come down on the wires, but we'll let you know when it should be restored. Traffic is brought to you by Urban Auctions Langley. Antiques, collectibles, sports cards, vinyl records, comics, estate sales, and store bankruptcies. Thousands of unique items are for sale. A new auction every week. Bid from home at urbanauctions.ca. And now from the Penfolds Roofing and Solar Weather Center, we're going to check in with our meteorologist, Carl Lamb.
We'll have a good amount of sunshine to start the day, but then as we go into the afternoon, that's when the cloud starts to filter in, and we'll have a southeasterly wind around 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. So 22 is the high for today, and we're down to an overnight low of 15 degrees. And then for tomorrow, it is sun and cloud. Temperatures check down to 21 on Wednesday and down to 13 on Wednesday night. Your high for today is 22.
Thanks, Carl. If you need support, Victim Link BC is here. Free, confidential, 24/7. Call or text. Brought to you by United Way BC, united for people in need.
Thank you so much, Leah. We have your Sports Center top headlines up next. It's 9:43.
Hi, I'm Shaman with Hope Street Property Management. Are you a homeowner? Have you ever considered renting out your executive or family home to lucrative corporate tenants? At Hope Street, we place thousands of corporate and executive level tenants through our housing and relocation networks. And we have great corporate tenants waiting to move into your place too. So visit hopestreet.ca today to get started and to find out how much easy money your home could be earning.
hopestreet.ca.
You might think all money managers are the same. But while some advisors give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios, Fisher Investments tailors a portfolio to your goals and needs. Some advisors only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management. Investing in stock markets involves the risk of loss.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. 1130 News Radio.
15 degrees, partly cloudy here in Vancouver. Good morning. I'm Maria Vinca.
And I'm Sonia Aslam. Here's what's happening right now.
The province is laying out what legal actions it's considering in relation to the Tumbler Ridge mass shooting. Attorney General Nikki Sharma says the province will be holding OpenAI accountable for what it calls failures to notify law enforcement about the suspect's interactions with ChatGPT.
Sharma also saying any money that comes from this will go to the victims of the shooting and their families as well as the community. A reminder, a new school is being built in Tumbler Ridge. You can find more details on this breaking story on our website, vancouver.citynews.ca.
And coming up after sports, what appears to be a fire at a home in Coquitlam. 9:45, it is now time for sports from Sports at 650, the home of the Canucks. Here's Rajesh Dave.
That's it for the Americans at the World Cup. Belgium with the 4-1 win yesterday to finish off the U.S. and advance to the quarters. They'll face Spain, who knocked out Portugal 1-0, a stoppage time winner for them. And Cristiano Ronaldo's final match for his country, he left in tears. 2 games today to cap off the round of 16. Right now it's Egypt leading 1-0 on Argentina as we approach the half. Argentina couldn't convert on a penalty either that Lionel Messi had taken, saved by Mustafa Shafir, the Egyptian keeper. Then a little later, we're here at BC Place for a 1 o'clock kickoff between Colombia and Switzerland. Well, it's officially happening. Kyle Lowry will retire as a Toronto Raptor. He dropped a post on his Instagram this morning.
Thank you, Toronto. Thank you, Canada. And as I always told y'all, this officially happened. I'm retiring as a Toronto Raptor. 20 years and 1 day. 7 forever. I love y'all. Peace.
Of course, this happening on the 7th of July, the 7th month, as in the number 7, which most expect will not be worn ever again in Toronto. Another rough night for the Blue Jays. Dropped a 10-1 decision in San Francisco as the losing streak continues. They'll try and reset today. The Mariners back from an off day to open against Miami this afternoon. And one of the biggest matches of Canada's Felix Auger-Aliassime's career coming up today. Wimbledon quarterfinal against the All-England men's GOAT, Novak Djokovic. They each have a win against each other in the head-to-head. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour. Anytime at sportsnet.ca.
Innovation, performance, design. The pinnacles of the Mercedes-Benz three-pointed star, representing over a century of tradition, a commitment to quality, and a promise to always shine brighter than ever before.
Come see the new advancements for new adventures in the GLC Hybrid and GLE Hybrid models from Mercedes-Benz Richmond, the Lower Mainland's only J.D. Power Gold certified Mercedes-Benz dealership.
Visit them today in the Richmond Auto Mall, a Dilawri franchise dealership, part of Canada's largest automotive group.
There's more to driving than getting from point A to point B. There's scenic routes to discover, road trips that test your cargo space, and Sunday drives where getting lost is almost a bonus. That's why Scotiabank, Scene Plus, and Shell are teaming up to unlock new ways to help you save and earn on fuel purchases. Eligible Scotiabank clients can get up to 10 cents per liter in value at Shell with Scotiabank and Scene Plus. Visit scotiabank.com/Shell to learn more. Conditions and limits apply. Actual value may be lower. Scotiabank, you're richer than you think.
Happening now on 1130 News Radio, large clouds of black smoke can be seen hanging over parts of Coquitlam. It is believed to be a home on fire in the area of Brunette Avenue between Highway 1 and Lougheed Highway. 1130 News Radio has reached out to Coquitlam Fire for more information, and thank you to all of you who have called this in. Buildings on a few blocks on New York's east side over fears of a building under renovation could collapse. Reporter Aaron Kaczorski says first responders flew into action after workers noticed bricks falling and saw beams buckling on the building's 21st and 22nd floors.
The FDNY shut down 42nd Street and a number of adjacent blocks out of an abundance of caution while the Department of Buildings and its structural engineers try to figure out how to render this place safe. For now, everybody is out, nobody is allowed in, and a number of buildings, including residential, commercial, even a hotel, remain evacuated.
It is unclear how long it will take before people get the all clear to return. And Attorney General Nikki Sharma says the province is going to be suing OpenAI in connection to the Tumbler Ridge tragedy.
When there are serious concerns that opportunities to prevent harm were missed, we as a government have the responsibility to act. We owe that to the victims, their families, and everyone whose life was changed by this tragedy. We owe it to ensure that this never happens again.
Sharma says OpenAI had a chance to stop the mass killings but didn't. 8 people were killed, and then the shooter took their life back on February 10th. Prime Minister Mark Carney, U.S. President Donald Trump, and other world leaders in NATO alliance have arrived for their summit in Ankara, Turkey. Our Mike Apple says Carney has already signed some trade deals.
Prime Minister Mark Carney met first with Turkish President Erdogan, the host of this year's NATO summit, announcing plans to start the process for free trade negotiations. It was one of several meetings scheduled over the next 2 days for the Prime Minister. U.S. President Donald Trump, meantime, arrived in his new gifted 747 Air Force One with the expected push to get NATO partners to raise their defense spending to 5% of GDP. The Prime Minister making a big move toward that yesterday with that deal to buy up to 12 submarines from Germany and Norway for tens of billions of dollars. Leaders are expected to gather for a dinner event this evening before the big North Atlantic Council meeting coming up tomorrow. At the Business Center, I'm Mike Apple.
Coming up in just over a minute, another check of your traffic and weather together on the ones. It's 9:50.
My son has so much anger, and I don't know where it comes from.
I'm Dawn Schooler, owner of Jericho Counseling. Sometimes we can be overwhelmed by anger with no idea where it comes from. Fear, disrespect, feeling trapped. Jericho Counseling can help find the answers. Make the right call, make an appointment with Jericho Counseling.
Secure, virtual, or in-person counseling sessions are available now. Call 604-JERICHO or visit jerichocounseling.com.
At No Frills, we say no to yellow cards and yes to yellow deals. Get select Lay's classic chips for only $3.25 until July 8th. Visit your local No Frills or nofrills.ca for details. No Frills, yes savings.
The Government of Canada is bringing down your costs so you can get ahead. We're suspending the federal fuel excise tax to help bring down gas costs this summer. Learn more at canada.ca/gettingahead. A message from the Government of Canada.
9:51, back to the 11:30 News Radio, Rogers Xfinity Internet Traffic Center with Leah Halayev.
Well, we have that structure fire in Coquitlam right now, Maria. It's on Roderick Avenue, and it's definitely causing a lot of smoke in the area around Highway 1 and Brunette, and that's why we're seeing some slowdowns on Brunette on the highway trying to take the Brunette exit, so just be aware of that. We also have that power outage in Ladner affecting just under 3,600 customers. The grid is north of 45th Avenue, south of Highway 99, west of 57th, all the way to the Fraser. You can use the always stop procedure in any uncontrolled intersections. The cause is a tree that's down the wire, but we will let you know when that should be restored. If you're headed towards the Massey Tunnel right now, northbound out of Delta, we were seeing some volume, and you are backed up before the Delta Workshard, but once you get through the tube and into Richmond, you look fine. Southbound down the Richmond stretch looks good. The Alex Fraser Bridge, no delays in either direction. A little volume on the east-west connector westbound around Westminster Highway. The Queensboro Bridge is slow just after House heading into New West, but westbound on Stewartson slow from around 20th. The Stallawasam Bridge looks good right now in both directions. For Highway 1 out of Langley and Surrey westbound towards the Port Mann, we're looking good. You are going to slow down right around Boundary, though, if you're headed towards the Cassiar. Heading off the North Shore for the Ironworkers looks good. The Lionsgate Bridge, you have a little bit of a backup around the loop out of North Van and partially on Marine out of West Vancouver, but the Richmond Bridges, the Oak is the slowest one. You're slow northbound from around number 4 Road to the north end, but the Arthur Lang and the Knight Street Bridge look pretty good. Traffic is brought to you by Kingmark Currency Exchange. Today, Kingmark Currency Exchange buys U.S. at 1.400 and sells at 1.430, buys Euro at 1.592 and sells at 1.647. Visit kingmark.ca for more. And now from the Penfolds Roofing and Solar Weather Center, we're going to check in with our meteorologist, Carl M.
For today, temperatures getting up to 22 degrees with mostly sunny conditions to start. Then the cloud cover starts to build as we go into the afternoon and into the evening as well, with a low of 15 for tonight. Then for tomorrow, it's sun and cloud and 21, so still staying very comfortable. And then we're down to 13 on Wednesday night. For Thursday, it's mostly cloudy. There will be some sunshine, but it's just not as bright on Thursday with a high of 21 as well. For Friday, sun and cloud and 21. And then for Saturday, you guessed it, also sun and cloud and highs up to 20. Your high for today is 22.
Thanks, Carl. Drive the legendary Quattro. Audi owners can lease the 2026 Audi Q7 and 0.98% and receive up to $5,500 in Audi credits.
Thanks so much, Leah. No matter what you need to know in Vancouver, 1130 News Radio is always live, always local, 24/7. Advocates are demanding answers over a stalled downtown Eastside housing project. Our Kurt Black is hearing from Kabir Madan, a manager manager for the Carnegie Housing Project.
In July of 2024, then Housing Minister Ravi Kahlon unveiled plans for a new supportive housing complex, one that would add 200 affordable units and health services to the downtown east side, adding to the 75 units promised in 2018. But 2 years after that expanded commitment, the proposed site on the corner of Gore and East Hastings remains vacant. And with over 3,000 Vancouver residents still living without a stable roof over their heads, advocates say the time is now for the province to live up to their promise.
They're evicting people on Granville Street. There are 3 SROs on Granville Street that are being evicted. So we're losing hundreds of units while we can't even get 200 units up after 8 years of promises.
Kurt Black, City News, Vancouver.
A woman wanted in connection with the Monaco bombing has been found dead.
Ukraine's security service has found the body of Anastasia Berezovska, who had been wanted by Monaco authorities for a bombing targeting business tycoon Vadim Vermolayev. An officer from Ukraine's military intelligence has confessed to killing the woman with a former law enforcement officer's help. He claimed he acted independently without informing superiors. The attack had shocked Monaco, known for its wealthy residents and events like the Formula One Grand Prix. Prince Albert II there calling the blast an odious act and said all public services have been mobilised to ensure security. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The man accused of killing conservative influencer Charlie Kirk is expected back in court today for day 2 of his preliminary hearing. Reporter Kenya Whitworth was there yesterday as testimony began, with Kirk's parents and his widow Erica there listening.
It was an emotional day for the Kirk family, who left the courtroom during graphic testimony.
A lot of people were screaming, standing up, and starting to run in all different directions away from the center of the tent.
Prosecutors laying out their case in a mini-trial to convince a judge there's enough evidence to try Robinson for gunning down the conservative activist at his event at Utah Valley University.
The court proceedings are expected to last about a week. It's legal loss for Prince Harry. His final lawsuit aimed at taming the British tabloids has ended in defeat after a judge found he failed to prove his privacy invasion claims against the publisher of the Daily Mail. The Duke of Sussex has depended on what was described as, quote, broad interference to try to show that Associated Newspapers had engaged in illegal activities. Now, the judge said that there was a realistic possibility the news came from legitimate sources. We have your business news up next.
The beautiful game is here in Vancouver. Stay with 1130 News Radio for everything you need to know.
From the latest traffic reports every 10 minutes on the ones, transit updates, and the game day forecast.
1130 News Radio will keep you in the know.
Plus, in-depth game reports before and after each match in the city. Stay informed
and in the know
on citynews.ca.
with 1130 News Radio, Vancouver.
Good morning. Markets back in the red across the board with a fresh record on the Dow today and then a switch. It's now down 164 points. The S&P is down 25 and the NASDAQ is still the biggest loser. It's down 160. That's a pullback of 0.6%. Shares in SpaceX taking a hit today. That stock down 5.2%. And that's despite the fact the stock got a number of buy ratings from several analysts after the quiet period associated with the IPO lifted. Now, the stock also joined the NASDAQ 100 ahead of the market open today, so it's now trading in 2 places. On this side of the border, the TSX lower for a second day. It's down 5, 35,212. Gold futures right now in the red, down $12, 4,154. Oil is higher by $1.90 to $70.45. And then our loonie up by 6/100, 70.46 cents U.S. Canada's trade surplus widened to its largest in 4 years, thanks to energy, metals, and mineral exports. Now, exports hit $77 billion in May. That's a record. And the value of energy exports up 70% from a year earlier. And Prime Minister Mark Carney says 8 other countries have agreed to back the Defense, Security, and Resilience Bank. It's a new financial institution which would invest in the defense industry. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
Life moves fast, and your health needs a partner that can keep up. At Paulette Clinics, they're ready to support you through your whole journey. From experienced circumcisions for newborns and adults alike, to safely completing your family with a vasectomy. right through to maintaining peak sexual function later in life. Paula Clinics has spent 30 years helping thousands of men make these decisions with clarity and peace of mind. Book your consultation at paulaclinics.com. Expert care for every step of the journey.
Hey, Dad, can you help me get to the nearest ICBC driver licensing office? I want to take the knowledge test.
Sure. Walk forward 3 steps.
Okay.
Turn left.
This is the bathroom.
Your other left.
This is Mom's workspace.
Yep. Now you can take the knowledge test online.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Online knowledge tests. It's another way we're helping to keep BC moving. Learn more at icbc.com.
CKWX AM.
A Rogers radio station.
1130 NewsRadio Vancouver. And weather. It's time to 1130 NewsRadio Vancouver. Call now
And have your say.
1-833-668-2577.
Welcome to Talkback. 2 hours of debate and discussion on the big issues of the day. Today it's a Friday free-for-all. We don't come up with the topics on Friday. We have a few ready to go. They're just conversation starters, okay? We always prefer to know what's on your mind. So what's on your mind today? What do you want to talk about? If you want to talk about something that's been in the news, there's always news, lots of news this week. If you want to talk about something you think should be in the news, feel free to raise it here. Whatever it happens to be today, serious, not so serious. We have a phone line for you. All of our phone lines are open right now. 1-833-668-2577. 1-833-668-2577. You call now, I put you on the air. And as always, if you've never called before, just mention that and we'll make your call a priority. The number again, 1-833-668-2577. Let me start then. Pipeline or pipe dream, okay? Pipeline or pipe dream. This is one of the big news stories of the week, everyone. Pipeline or pipe dream. Love to know what you think about the latest between Ottawa and Alberta and a pipeline to the BC coast. Especially people who are listening right now who think Alberta would be better off on its own. I know there are a few of you out there, okay? And you listen to this show. What do you think about what you're hearing about this deal? A pipeline to the southern coast of BC from Alberta. 1 million more barrels a day. Alberta oil. Destined, it's hoped for markets other than the United States. I mean, the Premier of Alberta certainly seems happy about it, Danielle Smith. Prime Minister Mark Carney has a Crown corporation ready to build it, the Trans Mountain Corporation. It built the last pipeline to BC, Trans Mountain Expansion Project, after, well, I mean, you know the story. It was basically nationalized by the Trudeau government. That's an interesting angle in and of itself, that is Trans Mountain Corporation and not, say, some other private company. This is basically a public-private partnership to build a pipeline because you have Pembina involved. That's a private sector company, shares listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and it's involved in this too. But when it comes to Premier Smith and Prime Minister Carney, I mean, look, they seem to get along well. It's kind of like smiles all around. So if you're in Alberta, are you smiling today? Are you smiling today? Maybe you're smiling because the Calgary Stampede is opening today, greatest outdoor show on earth, but you're also getting another pipeline by the sounds of things. Or do you think it's more of a pipe dream? And Mark Carney's not serious, and the Liberals in Ottawa aren't serious. And like the pipeline projects that came before it, this one is doomed to fail because it's going to be protested to death. It's going to be litigated to death in the courts, and it's just never going to happen. What do you think? There's a lot to chew on with that story. Love to hear from you on it. 1-833-668-2577. Now, this is an interesting one that I came across. It's about pot, okay? It's about smoking pot, using cannabis products. There's a write-up in the Sun Papers about it. There's a write-up in the Halifax Chronicle Herald about it. Two questions for you, really. about legalized cannabis. Is the pot that's for sale these days too strong? Is it too potent? Should there be, I don't know, a limit on the THC content that is allowed in the legalized cannabis? I'm just throwing that out there. I'd like to know your opinion. I mean, what do you think if you partake in legalized cannabis? Is it too strong? Is it too potent? The second question is this for listeners in Nova Scotia. Why do people in Nova Scotia smoke the most pot? What is going on there? Is it a cultural thing about Nova Scotia? Is it more socially acceptable than other parts of the country? I'm just curious. The reason this is even in the news is because there's been a study published in a very prestigious medical journal called The Lancet. It's been digging into cannabis use in Canada since legalization in 2018. And according to the study, and you can read about it in the papers today, the pot of today is not your father's pot or your grandfather's pot. It's much more potent. And because it's much more potent and widely available, it has led to an increase in hospital visits for things like psychosis, psychiatric disorders, and addictive use. Now, I remember in the years leading up to legalization when I was doing call-in radio, there were people who were warning about this very sort of thing, that it would have this effect, especially on the minds of young people. And others would push back and say, you can't get addicted to marijuana. Pot is not addictive. Some people would call and tell me that. Pot is not addictive. Well, this study says they're seeing more and more people addicted to pot. More and more people are becoming addicted to it because it is widely available and very, very strong. This is in the Halifax Chronicle Herald today. Quote, regular use of strong cannabis, 20 milligrams per gram or higher, raises the odds of a psychosis by 500 to 1,000% among teens and young adults. Now listen to this. According to the Nova Scotia Liquor Corporation, which has the monopoly on selling legalized cannabis in Nova Scotia, as of 2023, nearly half of its sales of cannabis products with a THC content of, 20 milligrams per gram or higher, 10 times stronger than the old weed. 30% of sales at the NSLC were 25 to 30 milligrams per gram, and just over 10% had a potency of 30 milligrams per gram. And the Lancet is saying pot over 20 milligrams per gram or higher raises the odds of psychosis by 500 to 1,000% among teens and young adults. We thought we would get some advice from an expert, the do's and the don'ts for the politicians and their people, for the Calgary Stampede. Gary Keller is an Alberta boy, but he's also part of the Ottawa bubble because he is vice president of Strategy Corps, and he's about to hop on a flight to Calgary. Gary. Hi, Gary.
Hello, Rob.
Hey, great to hear from you. I know you're about to catch a flight, so I'm not going to keep it too long, but I have to ask you, what makes the Calgary Stampede a must-stop for politicians and political people every year?
Well, it's really the first weekend of the Stampede that has become the political weekend, where a lot of, quite frankly, Canada's business and political elite shift their focus away from the traditional centers of power in Toronto or Ottawa, and it moves westward because it's a combination of having a really great time. The Stampede is a lot of fun with a lot of events taking place, a lot of political events, and an opportunity to meet face-to-face with people, engage one-on-one, and have those side conversations that sometimes you can't have being spread out. So that first weekend really becomes the center of political and business power in Canada. And over the course of the week at Stampede, starting with this weekend, hundreds of millions and billions of dollars of business deals and sometimes political deals will happen.
What are the events that political insiders, business people, people who do what you do in government relations, Gary, what are the events that they want to get into?
It's a great question. It's a combination of events put on by third parties and events put on by governments. So your traditional government type people, politicos, there will be a number of key events. For starters, Corey Hogan, who's the Liberal MP from Calgary Confederation, but most importantly, the only Calgary Liberal MP, will hold a pancake breakfast on Sunday morning. But you can guarantee that every Liberal that's in town, including possibly the Prime Minister, several cabinet ministers, they're going to be at the Corey Hogan breakfast. So if you want to press the flesh in a casual manner, that is certainly a place to do it. On the Conservative side, and this goes back for many, many years because Stephen Harper was the MP for Calgary Heritage, in addition to being Prime Minister. The Calgary Conservative MPs host a Stampede barbecue on the Saturday evening. That is always a hot ticket, too. So you have the two sort of Liberal and Conservative federal events that take place. The provincial parties have events. Premier Smith will have a pancake breakfast on Monday morning, but she'll also have a business reception on Sunday night that brings out business people, diplomats, people from afar, people wanting to do business with the government of Alberta. And then the NDP, the provincial NDP, will also have a Stampede breakfast as well. So all the political people are covered. And again, it's a casual way to make connections and press the flesh with people who are decision makers in government.
Let's get into the really important stuff. How do you dress the part so you don't look out of place?
Really, really important. And there's a few politicians over the years who clearly didn't get the message, who looked like come from a ways, as they say in Newfoundland. Most famously was Mr. Harper at his very first Stampede as a leader of the party. He made a bit of a fashion faux pas to this day. The infamous leather vest that he wore with kind of a weird cowboy hat really didn't cut the mustard. So that was definitely faux pas. The biggest faux pas that politicians from afar have, especially, and even politicians from Alberta who don't necessarily fit in with the Calgary crowd, you got to make sure you wear your cowboy hat the right way around. In fact, there's a story of one political advanced person who said, my boss, he's a smart guy, but this stuff, he just doesn't get it. So I had to put a sign in the front of his hat in the inside band that said front so that you had the hat on right. So that's very, very important as well. Boots, jeans, and check shirts, that cowboy look, it's de rigueur for the Stampede.
Okay. In Ottawa, there are places where political people tend to hang out after hours. Highs used to be a hot spot before it closed. Laurier Dubois on the Quebec side was hot during the Chrétien Liberal area. These days, it seems to be everyone gravitates to the Metropolitan, okay, in Ottawa, not far from the Chateau Laurier. Is there a similar place in Calgary for political movers and shakers? And do you have a favorite spot?
It's not so much one venue. The venues tend to move because a number of government relations firms and other law firms hold receptions. In addition, the Calgary Chamber of Commerce holds a reception one day. The Equal Voice Group, they hold a reception one day. The Canadian Chamber of Commerce, they hold a reception. And so the party kind of moves from event to event, and people work to make sure that their event doesn't conflict with other people's events so that you can get to as many events as possible. So it's less about one bar or one restaurant that becomes the place and more about the number of events. And by Monday, people are totally clapped out. They've had too much sun, a little too much to drink, not enough water. So you got to pace yourself. You stick to the Gatorade in between events, get some sleep, because otherwise Monday morning could be a rough show.
Right. And it's not yee-haw, right, Gary?
It's not yee-haw. That's an Americanism, and we don't want Americanisms at this time. So it's Yahoo, not yee-haw.
Okay. Are you flying from Ottawa to Calgary today?
No, I'm actually in Kelowna. I had some business in Kelowna beforehand.
Okay.
It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining on the lake. I wish I could go for a dip, but Stampede calls.
Have a great time. Thank you so much.
Yahoo, Rob. Yahoo.
Oh, just calling about the marijuana subject that you brought up before the message.
Sure thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it too strong? The new pot.
Yeah. So you had a few things in there. As far as potency goes, I mean, there's lots of selection there. I mean, you can get. I would guess I would consider high potency THC marijuana to be, maybe 25 to 40%. You can get stuff that's 15%. You can get stuff that's 10%. Get stuff that's 5%. You can get stuff that's 0%, but has CBD in it. There's lots of selection, especially if you're ordering from a licensed producer, like a mail-in sort of situation or medical. If you can handle it, you can handle it. Me personally, I can't handle the really high potency stuff, so I stick with the low potency stuff. As far as psychosis and all that goes, I'm not really a medical professional, but I guess people that smoke way too much of it seem a little off. That's just my observation. And what was the other question you had there about it?
I'm curious if there's something in the Nova Scotia culture or the Halifax culture that is pot smoking more socially acceptable there than other parts of the country. BC always used to have this reputation, before legalization, if you're of a certain vintage. BC, all the stoners lived in BC, okay? But the data shows actually it's people in Nova Scotia, it's people in Halifax smoke the most pot of all of Canada. Like, why is
Today's the last day 1130 News Radio will be on the air. We are proud to have served Vancouver and Lower Mainland. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the station over the years, and thanks to you for listening to 1130 News Radio. Local news coverage in your community will continue on citynews.ca, City News TV newscasts, and City News 24/7. Today's the last day 1130 News Radio will be on the air. We are proud to have served Vancouver and Lower Mainland. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the station over the years, and thanks to you for listening to 1130 News Radio. Local news coverage in your community will continue on citynews.ca, City News TV newscasts, and City News 24/7.